Welcome to our video lesson on box and whisker plots. Box and whisker plots look a little strange at first, but after you understand how to read them, they're actually quite useful. So box and whisker plots display data using the median. And remember, the median is the middle number. So if we look down here at our box and whisker plot, first of all, hopefully you can see why it's called box and whiskers. It's called box and whiskers because it's got this box in the middle, and then these look like the whiskers on either side. Box and whiskers plots are often used to show the spread or how far apart your data is. So in this box and whisker plot down here, let me show you how to read it. The first thing is you can see we've got 3 dots here. 5 dots, 3, 4, and 5. These 5 dots represent special numbers in our data set. The first dot that we're going to talk about is the dot in the middle. This dot right here represents the median. So that is the middle number of our data set. In this case, that means that the middle number, or the median, of the number of minutes that 6th graders spent on homework last night was 35. So the median was 35 minutes. The next number we'll look at is the number over here at the very bottom. This is the minimum. So the minimum amount of time that all the 6th graders spent on homework last night was 20 minutes. So that means we have one student who spent 20 minutes and everyone else spent more than 20 minutes. The maximum amount of time that someone spent is up here, and it's 50 minutes. This is our maximum. All right, then we have these other 2 dots that are left. And these two dots are something new for you. This one down here is called our lower quartile. And before I explain what the lower quartile means, first you need to know that half of the students, half of the 6th graders, are in this section right here. And that means that half of the 6th graders spent between 20 to 35 minutes on their homework last night. This lower quartile, this dot right here, represents half of that half, or quarters, and it divides our half into 2 quarters. So here I'd have a quarter of the students, and then here I'd have another quarter of the students. So that means a quarter of our students spent between 20 to 25 minutes on homework last night, and another quarter spent between 25 to 35 minutes. So the quartiles divide our data into 4 sets. Well, if this dot is our lower quartile, then our other dot over here is our upper quartile. So this one is our upper quartile. So the 5 numbers that are really important in a box plot or box and whiskers plot are your minimum, your lower quartile, your median, your upper quartile, and your maximum. And what it does is it divides your data into 4 equal groups. So a quarter of our data is in between each dot. Let's talk about how to make a box and whiskers plot. Here are our 4 steps. First, we put our data in order from least to greatest. Then we find the minimum and maximum data points. We find our median, we find our quartiles, and then we make our graph. A quick reminder, a quartile is a value that divides your list of data into quarters. Okay, let's make a box and whiskers plot of this data up here. Our first step is to put it in order from least to greatest. So, our smallest number is 1. Then we have 4, 7, 8, 10, 12, and our last number is 16. So now that our numbers are in order, we need to find the minimum and maximum of our number set, of our data set. Well, our minimum and maximum stand out to us right away. Our minimum is over here, and it's 1. And our maximum is on the other end, and it is 16. Then we need our median. Now our median takes a little bit more work, but it's exactly like we've done it in class to find the median. We are going to cross out the equal pairs here, so 1 and 16, 12 and 4, 10 and 7, and we're left with our median, which is 8. Then we need to find our lower and upper quartile. Now I'm going to tidy this up a little bit, and then I'll show you how to find the lower and upper quartiles. So first of all, we just said that our median was 8. And that divides our data set right in the middle. Now our quartiles are going to divide our data set into quarters. So that means that I need to find the median of each half of our data. Do it in purple. So I need to find the median of this data right here. So again, I'm going to cross pairs out, and then the middle number I'm left with is 4. So the 4 divides our data into equal parts. So our lower quartile is going to be 4. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I need to find the middle value of our numbers right here. So I cross out the 10 and the 16, and then I'm left with the 12 in the middle. So our upper quartile is 12. And that's my 5-number summary. The next part is to make our graph. To make our graph, your first step is to make a number line. The second step is to plot each of your, this should be your, 5 numbers above your number line, not on it, above it. Then you draw vertical lines, remember vertical means up and down, between the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile. Then you make a box by connecting your vertical lines. Then you draw your whiskers by connecting your minimum and maximum to the box. Now it sounds really confusing and like there's a lot to do, but I think once you see it, it'll make more sense. So here I have my 5-number summary and my data on the next page. The first step is to make my number line. Now my number line needs to start at my minimum and go at least until my maximum. Remember with number lines, they go on for infinity, so you want to put your arrows on the end of your line. I'm going to start down here at my lowest number, 1. I'm actually going to start at 0 because it would make more sense. 0, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I can stop my number line there because I've got the data I need. I have some extra space, so I'm just going to erase it on here. And if it's in your notebook, just erase it so you only have the amount that you need because we want it to be nice and neat. Okay, our next step after we've drawn our number line is to plot each of your 5 numbers above the number line. You're not going to do it on top of it, you need to do it above. The other thing is you need to make sure they line up in a straight line, which can be hard to do sometimes, but use the grids on your notebook to help you. I'm going to draw a little line here to help me do that, because otherwise it's really hard for me to draw it straight. So I'm going to put a little line across here. Don't do this line. It's just to help me, and I'll erase it afterwards. So my first number is 1. It's my minimum, so I'm going to put 1 right there. Then my maximum is 16, so my 16 goes there. My median is 8, so 5, 6, 7, 8 goes right there. My lower quartile is 4. That's too high. Lower quartile is 4. And my upper quartile is 12. Now, I don't need that line in the background, so I'm going to erase it. Now that I have my nice dots, my next step is to draw a vertical line in between the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile. Now this is going to make our box. And remember, vertical is up and down like that. So we're going to draw an up and down line, a vertical line, between each of these points. So, zoom in. This is my lower quartile, so I'm going to draw a line vertically through my lower quartile. Then I have my median, and that's not quite through my median. Then I'm going to do it in my upper quartile. To make sure it's straight. It's really hard to do on the iPad. There we go. And then my next step is to connect them all and make my box. So to connect them all, I do it like that, and then like that. Oh, my lines aren't quite long enough, so I'll do it like that. Then my last step is to make my whiskers. So now I have my box, and it's called box and whiskers. So we need our whiskers, which go out either side like that and like that. Now we have our box and our whiskers. This is it for our box and whiskers plot. We can see really easily a lot of things about our data. We can see that it goes, the minimum is 1 and our maximum is 16, that it's fairly spread out fairly easily. But we'll talk about how to interpret it later. Make sure you think about putting a title. You might have to put a title above your graph if you're given information about a certain group of people. But in this case, we were just given numbers, so we just make our box plot without numbers. Next thing people ask is, what if there is no median or quartiles? And this is a problem we ran into when we were finding the median. What if we have an even number of numbers? We're going to follow the exact same steps. So first, put our numbers in order from least to greatest. So 5 is our smallest, then 6, then 12, then 13, then I have 15, 12, 13, 15, 18, 22, and 23. All right. First step, what's our minimum? Minimum's really easy to see. Our minimum is down here, and it is 5. What's our maximum? Our maximum is also very easy to see. It's over here, and it is 23. Next, we need to find our median. Okay, so we need to do the counting, or the crossing out. So I'm going to cross out our biggest and our smallest, 6 and 22, 18 and 12, and then I'm left with 2 numbers in the middle. Hopefully you remember from in class, when we have this, we're going to add them together and then divide by 2. We're going to find the mean of those 2 numbers. 3 plus 5 is 8, 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 28 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 once, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, bring down that 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 8 is 0. So my median is 14. Now, something that really helps you visualize it, first let me tidy this up. Okay, our median was 14, which means it goes right here. Now to find our upper and lower quartile, I've divided my data set where the yellow line is, because that's where my median is, and I'm going to find the lower quartile of these numbers over here. So this will become my lower quartile. So I have to find the median of these numbers. So I cross them out again, 5 and 13 get crossed out, and then I'm left with 2 numbers again in the middle. So I'm going to do the same thing. Add them together, 6 plus 12 is 18, and I can do this in my head. 18 divided by 2 gives me 9. You can always double check it by thinking, is 9 halfway between 6 and 12? Does that make sense? Yes, it does make sense, so that's our lower quartile. Now we've got our lower quartile. The last thing is to find our upper quartile of our data on the other side. I'm going to change my color for this. We're going to do our upper quartile over here. So again, we're finding the median of these numbers. Cross out 15 and 23. We're left with 18 and 22. We're going to add them together. 8 plus 2 is 10. 2 plus 2 is 4. And I can do this in my head. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So my upper quartile goes right here, and it would be our 20. Now I have my 5 number summary. I'm going to make a box plot of this 5 numbers, using these 5 numbers. We are going to use this 5 number summary to make our box plot. So first thing, draw your number line. I'm going to put it down here. And I'm going to erase some of this other stuff so that we have some space. I see that my minimum is 5 and my maximum is 23, so I'm going to start down here at 5, and at the end I want to be at 25. I'm going to go up by 5, so 5, 10, 20 would be here, 15 here, and I'm going to move my 10 over so that it's right in the middle so they're evenly spaced. There's my 10. Now I need to plot all my numbers above the line. So I start with my minimum of 5, goes here. My maximum 23 is about there. My medium of 14 is there. My lower quartile 9 is there. And my upper quartile 20 is there. Just going to make sure they're in a straight line. Then I connected my dots by drawing vertical lines and then drawing my horizontal lines and drawing my whiskers. That's all for now. I hope this makes sense. We'll do lots of practice in class to help you make sure you understand how to draw them. I'll talk to you later.